Your body may be doing something most humans cannot do. You could carry a genetic variant that gives you almost no body odor, another that makes your bones unusually difficult to break, or one that lets you sleep less than almost everyone around you and still wake up alert. But not every genetic gift makes life easier. You could have blood so rare that one bag might save someone across the planet. But if you needed a transfusion, almost no one could save you. These are not comic book superpowers. They are tiny changes in DNA. Some leave clues you can recognize today. Others remain hidden until the right medical test. And one may have been shaping your body since birth. You simply never knew where to look. Start inside your ears. If your earwax is dry, light-colored, and flaky, you may carry a version of a gene called ABCC11. The same gene also changes the compounds released beneath your arms. Fresh sweat is nearly odorless. Body odor appears when bacteria break down those compounds. But in some people, ABCC11 leaves the bacteria with very little material to use. They still sweat. The bacteria are still there. But their body odor can be dramatically weaker. This version is especially common in East Asian populations. Millions of people may be applying deodorant every morning, not because their bodies need it, but because everyone around them does. And the clue has been sitting inside their ears the entire time. DNA can also change the world that you taste. To one person, cilantro tastes fresh and citrusy. To someone beside them, the same leaf tastes like soap. Part of that difference is connected to smell receptor genes, including OR6A2. Cilantro contains aldehydes, chemicals related to compounds found in soaps and cosmetics. Some people are more sensitive to them. Two people can bite into the same leaf. The same molecules enter their noses, but their brains receive different messages. One is eating an herb. The other feels as though dinner was washed in dish soap. They are not necessarily being dramatic. They may be experiencing a sensory reality that you cannot enter. Now step from a dark room into bright sunlight. If you immediately sneeze, that may not be random. It is called the photic sneeze reflex. Bright light normally tells your pupils to contract. But in some people, that nerve signal appears to trigger a sneeze as well. It is like two electrical wires placed too close together, allowing the signal to jump into the wrong circuit. The reflex runs in families, although scientists still do not fully understand why. In your living room, it is a harmless trick. But imagine driving out of a dark tunnel at high speed. The sunlight hits. You sneeze. Your eyes close. For a fraction of a second, your body takes control away from you. A harmless reflex can become dangerous at exactly the wrong moment. Another difference may reveal itself whenever you drink milk. Most mammals produce lactase when young, allowing them to digest lactose. After weaning, that ability usually fades. Early humans were the same. Then some communities began raising animals and drinking their milk. Adults who could keep digesting it gained an advantage, and variants that kept lactase active spread. So lactose intolerance does not mean the body is defective. From an evolutionary perspective, losing the ability after childhood was once normal. The adult who can drink milk without consequences is the later genetic update. Some variants change the movement your body may be better prepared to perform. A CTN3 produces a protein in fast-twitch muscle fibers. Those fibers create explosive movement, sprinting, jumping, lifting something heavy. Many people carry 2 copies of a variant that prevents this protein from being produced. That does not make them weak. Their muscles may simply lean slightly away from explosive power and toward endurance. The functioning version appears frequently among elite sprinters and power athletes, but no single gene creates a champion. Performance also depends on training, nutrition, psychology, opportunity, and many other biological differences. You could be born with excellent hardware for speed, and never run faster than the day you chased a bus. DNA can give you an engine. It cannot force you to start it. The next trait is almost impossible to notice without a blood test. Some people are born with arteries that may age more slowly than everyone else's. Certain variants in PCSK9 keep LDL cholesterol unusually low from childhood. Not low because of medicine. Not low because of a temporary diet. low for decades. Their arteries spend a lifetime exposed to less circulating LDL, sharply reducing the risk of coronary heart disease. By studying these people, scientists identified PCSK9 as a target for cholesterol-lowering drugs. A rare genetic accident became a treatment blueprint for millions. Then there are people whose skeletons resemble armor beneath the skin. Certain variants in LRP5 can increase the signals that build bone. In some families, carriers have extraordinary bone density and very few fractures. From the outside, they may look ordinary. Inside, their bones are far denser than expected. It sounds like a perfect superpower, but the body is not a video game. Excess bone growth can enlarge the jaw, create bony masses inside the mouth, or compress nerves. Bones that resist breaking can still create problems. Sometimes the structure protecting the body begins taking space away from it. The trait most exhausted adults would choose has nothing to do with muscle or bone. It has to do with time. Most people need roughly 1/3 of each day for sleep. Cut that too aggressively, and the body collects its debt through fatigue, poor concentration, and damaged memory. But a tiny number of families carry variants associated with natural short sleep. One of the first discovered involved DEC2. Some carriers can sleep around 6 hours, sometimes less, and still wake up alert. They are not forcing themselves awake. They are not surviving on caffeine. Their bodies genuinely appear to need less sleep. But sleeping 4 hours because of work does not make you a natural short sleeper. Feeling fine does not prove that your brain is unharmed. True natural short sleep is extremely rare, often lifelong, and can run in families. Millions of tired people believe they have trained their bodies to need less rest. A very small number never needed the training. They were born with more waking hours than the rest of us. By now, you may have recognized at least one trait in yourself, but the next variants cannot be found in a mirror. They can change whether you survive an infection. HIV commonly uses a receptor called CCR5 as one door into immune cells. A variant called CCR5 Delta 32 prevents that doorway from working normally. People who inherit 2 copies can strongly resist strains of HIV that depend on it. But they are not immune to every form of the virus. The variant became famous after several patients with HIV and blood cancer received stem cells from donors carrying 2 copies. After an extremely dangerous treatment, some achieved long-term HIV remission. This is not a practical treatment for most people, but it proved how powerful one small genetic change could be. There is a catch. CCR5 also helps immune cells respond to other threats. Losing it may increase vulnerability to infections such as West Nile virus. Locking one door can keep an enemy outside. But sometimes it also blocks the defenders. Few traits reveal the cruelty of evolution more clearly than the sickle cell variant. A small change in the gene that produces hemoglobin can distort red blood cells under certain conditions. Inherit 2 disease-causing copies, and you can develop sickle cell disease with severe pain, organ damage, and lifelong complications. But inherit only 1 copy, and the story changes. Sickle cell trait can reduce the risk of severe malaria. That is why the variant remains common in regions where malaria has killed humans for thousands of years. 1 copy can help protect you. 2 copies can cause a devastating disease. Evolution does not check whether that is fair. It only keeps what survives long enough to be passed on. The variant survived partly because, in a world filled with malaria, not carrying it could be even more dangerous. And finally, there is a blood type so rare that most doctors will never encounter it. You may think blood type means A, B, AB, or O, followed by positive or negative. But red blood cells carry many different antigen systems. The Rh system alone is far more complicated than the symbol printed on a medical record. People with the Rh null phenotype have no Rh antigens on their red blood cells. It has been nicknamed golden blood. Not because it is yellow, because it is extraordinarily rare and valuable for certain patients with rare Rh-related blood types. Only a few dozen cases have been widely documented. But that value comes with a brutal contradiction. Rh null blood can help patients for whom almost no other blood is compatible. But if its owner needs a transfusion, their options may barely exist. Even O-negative blood is not automatically safe, because it does not lack the entire Rh system. Some people with Rh null store their own blood in frozen banks for future emergencies. Imagine living with something priceless flowing through your veins. A bag of your blood might cross borders to save someone you have never met. But if you were lying on the operating table, the entire planet might contain only a handful of people with what you need. You are a key capable of opening some of the rarest locks on Earth. But almost nobody carries the key that opens yours. DNA is not a perfect blueprint. It is more like a draft edited for billions of years. Old mistakes that once proved useful were preserved. Solutions built for ancient environments still operate inside modern bodies. One variant can protect the arteries for decades. Another can make bones difficult to break, then cause those bones to compress a nerve. A locked door can block one virus while exposing the body to another. And the rarest blood in the world can make its owner one of the hardest people to save. So the real question is not, do you have good genes or bad genes? Biology is rarely that simple. The real questions are, where is this variant useful? When does it become dangerous? And who pays the price? Maybe you do not carry any of the rarest traits on this list. Or maybe a hidden variant has been changing the way you eat, sleep, move, and fight disease since birth. You have never seen it, never felt it, and never had a reason to search for it. But beneath everything you call normal, your DNA is still building a version of the human body that has never existed in exactly the same form before.